Hey everybody, Jesse Callan here with Callan Corner, and today I am bringing you my predictions for WWE Royal Rumble 2021. And what an interesting Royal Rumble it might be, because it might be possibly the most unpredictable Royal Rumble ever. Definitely the most unpredictable since I've started watching, because I've actually only seen 2 Royal Rumbles. Actually, I've only seen 1 because this one hasn't happened yet. So, yeah, but it'll make for a very interesting video. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you please to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Now, let's get right down to it. So, the first match on our card is the one that I believe is the newest made one, because I thought it was made earlier, but then I heard somebody say it was officially made tonight. But anyway, that is Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't really have too much to say about this match. I personally think that Sasha should win, just for the simple fact that it would be kind of sad if she loses to Carmella this time, and that's pretty much the only person she's been feuding with the whole time since she got the title after she was finally done with Bayley. At least the only one I can remember. It's the only one where she's actually had another match that was a title match. And I feel like there's other women she should go against before she loses it. But that's just me. That said though, Sasha Banks for the win. The next match we have is the Women's Tag Team Championship match featuring Asuka and Charlotte Flair, the champions, versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So, I think that in this match, it could be the thing that kind of finally separates Nia and Shayna, because even though I personally haven't hated too much that they were tag teaming, they were dominant, and it makes sense because look at who we're talking about. However, it was also believable when it was Asuka and Charlotte who finally beat them, because Asuka's the champion and Charlotte is, well, Charlotte. So, you know, it's believable. It's not like Nia versus Lana or something like that again. So, yeah, it was fine for me. All of that detail aside, I do think that Charlotte and Asuka are going to retain, because I don't think they've been holding the titles long enough. And oddly enough, I could see someone else taking those titles off of them much easier than I could see someone else taking the titles off of Nia and Shayna, which might be kind of weird, but also makes sense in my sad, strange mind. So, Charlotte and Asuka for the win. Next we have on the list the Universal Championship Last Man Standing match between Roman Reigns, the champion, and Kevin Owens. To be honest, I am very happy we're getting this match as opposed to it being Pierce, because even though I know what they were doing with Pierce, and I'm personally fine with it knowing that, it would have just been Roman kicking Pierce's butt. You know, someone might have intervened or something, but you also know Roman wasn't going to lose, so yeah. Of course, in this situation, this is also one of those things where it's like you still can pretty well guess that Roman's not going to lose, because I just don't see him losing the title right before WrestleMania. Even though, if he were going to lose it, I think a most worthy opponent would in fact be Kevin Owens, who is so totally deserving of having that title, and I totally wish would win, and I really want to say will win, but yeah, I don't think that Roman's losing it yet, so I've got Roman for the win in this match. Next is a match that we're all dreading, at least I'm dreading it, and I'm pretty sure most of the WWE universe is dreading it, and probably a bunch of non-WWE universes also dreading it, because we have the WWE Championship match with Drew McIntyre, our awesome, wonderful champion, versus Goldberg, our not awesome, non-wonderful, non-champion, who will probably become champion after this for some reason we will never understand, because it makes no sense, and it'd be horrible. And as a matter of fact, I am boycotting this happening, and I refuse to accept it, so much so that even though it's likely possibly going to happen, I'm still saying that Drew wins, because Drew is my dude, and Goldberg is not. So, this is my video, and I can say what I want. So, I'm voting for Drew, and I hope I'm right. Drew for the win. on to the next match. And that, my friends, is the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. Now, am I going to sit here and try to name every single woman in that match? Nope. Because even if there was a full list, which there's not, I would never be able to name them all without dragging names through the mud and totally just jacking them up and repeating people's names and saying them wrong and not remembering where I left off or where I started, and it wouldn't make sense, and I don't make sense now because of that, which is why I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to predict who I think's going to win. And to be honest, I don't really know. I feel like that this Royal Rumble, as I said at the beginning of the video, is possibly the most unpredictable Royal Rumble we've ever had. We could see Alexa Bliss win. A big favorite to also win is Bianca Belair, who I would love to see win, honestly. Here's what I think. First, I think Bliss could win, like I said before, but I'm more convinced that she might start feuding with Nikki Cross. And I realized that they started to before. They didn't really go that far, but if anybody has been watching those little promos Nikki's been giving, I agree with C Wrestling. I think she's going to come back and do something awesome. By the way, if you haven't checked that video out on C Wrestling's channel yet, talking about Nikki, y'all should go look at it because it's a good video. Like all of his videos. You know what? Just go subscribe to his channel and watch all of his videos. But before you leave here, make sure you subscribe to mine first. The challenge with predicting who I think is going to win this is that we only know like half of the entrants who are even in it. And, you know, we could get surprise entries like the likes of Ronda Rousey. And if she came back, I could see her winning. We could get Becky Lynch coming back and I could see her winning. Any of that could happen. If I go off of who we already have, I could see it being Charlotte. Or, like I said, it could be Bianca. I actually think that it would be a little odd for Bianca to win and then go up against Sasha, because I think they're both faces at the moment. But nothing is impossible, and there is still so much up in the air. So, I'm just going to say Bianca and call it a day. Bianca for the win. By the way, on a side note, please ignore the fact that my thumbnail is totally an outdated one now. That's because I can't find an up-to-date one with all of our current entrants. It's the same case with the men's one. I did kind of find one though, but I think it's missing about 3 dudes still. So, yeah. Anyway, our last match of the night is the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Now, just like the women's match, this one is pretty up in the air too, because even though there are more men announced than there are women, I still feel like, just like with the women's, it's any person's game. Like, in this match, I could see Shinsuke winning, which I would love. I could see Big E winning. I could see Sheamus winning. I could see AJ winning. I mean, he's had a lot of momentum. He's been winning all of his matches. And then, of course, the favorite to win is Daniel Bryan. So, like I said, any man's game. And this is just for the guys that we know are in the match. We don't know who the other entrants will be. We could get Brock Lesnar. We could get CM Punk. Been hearing a lot of rumors about that. Not that I'm interested, but, you know, people love the dude. So, yeah. We could get Seth Rollins returning. I actually heard just earlier he may be returning for Royal Rumble. Imagine Seth versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It's a very possible reality. There's also the thought that The Fiend could return. Of course, if that happens, I will be quite happy. However, I don't see him returning to win. I could see him returning just to eliminate Randy. But I also feel like we all believe he's going to return, so he may not return, which would be a bummer because I do miss him. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And along with whatever could happen there, I could also see a feud finally starting between Shinsuke and Cesaro, which means that Shinsuke may in fact not win. Oh yeah, and let's not forget about Edge. Edge could win too. All that said, I'm going to say that Daniel Bryan wins, or if Drew loses to Goldberg, which isn't going to happen by the way, because I said so, he enters the Rumble and he wins again. It's always possible. Or last but not least, if he does in fact return, I will say that Seth Rollins wins the Rumble. We shall find out. So, there you have it, everybody. that was my predictions for Royal Rumble 2021. I'm glad I said that correctly both times because I was so thinking 2020, but that's long gone. Anyway, here's to hoping, once again, that Drew McIntyre definitely wins, because I am not interested in seeing Oldberg carry another title or beating Drew. Even got my Drew shirt on, because that is how much I am for Drew. Drew must win. Okay, I'm a hashtag that. Drew must win. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to hit that like below, and definitely subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Oh, I stole that from C. Sorry, buddy. See you all later.